Oh, hello everyone. It's Bunny. But today I'm doing a video, and look, you can see my whole body for once. I'm standing in the distance. You can see all of me. So, today, we are here because you, yes you, are wanting to send audition tapes for to play the role of my characters in my upcoming novel, Tabamari. And potentially also, and also it would also involve voicing the characters in the short skits that I make. So, we'll go over each character and kind of just discuss the character's personality and kind of talk about how they speak. That way you kind of know the kind of character you'd maybe want to try out for. So, we'll start with Tabamari. Of course, at the moment, I'm just going to use these little chibis that I have because this is all I've got for them at the moment. These are my characters. Because as you know, I'm in the process of trying to draw them all, but my art is very amateur level still, so it's not very good. But I will get professional art of them all eventually. I'll have to commission some for all of them, but it might take a while because, professional commission art is kind of expensive. So, especially if you want a full body illustrations of each of the characters, it's kind of expensive. And I don't have a massive amount of money, even after I get paid from work. So, but we'll see. So, Tabamari. Let's talk about Tabamari. She is obviously the main character of Tabamari. The whole thing is named after her. So, she is the main character. She is basically, what you want to be doing for Tabamari is brat. Think brat. Overconfident brat. Because before, obviously, she used to be a human. That's a plot point that I think I've already revealed. She was once, at the start of the story, she's human, and she's a bit of an airhead, a bit of a klutz and an airhead. And then, obviously, she gains all this power from a mysterious source, of which I will not reveal just yet, and becomes the new, Demon Empress. So then she's obviously super overconfident and cocky, and thinks that she's this, amazing threat to humanity, when she's still kind of an idiot. So for Tabamari, you kind of want to be Greetings, humans! It is I, Tabamari. I am the new Demon Empress and soon to be your sovereign. You would be well advised to simply surrender and lay down your weapons. Then perhaps I may spare your life. Who put that stupid rock there? I was right in the middle of my evil monologue too. Stupid rock, stupid grass, stupid. You see, she's kind of just brat kid that thinks she's super powerful, but is still kind of a dumbass. So that's Tabamari, okay. And of course, if you want more I'll give everyone that wants to try out for the characters lines that they can send to me, because I do have pre-written lines, audition lines. So that's Tabamari. Then we'll do Warren for any potential male people, any guys that want to join in. I know that Yuki and TJ have already said they wouldn't mind voicing someone. This isn't all of the characters as well, by the way, I should add. This is just Tabamari's faction. There is going to be more characters than this. This is just Tabamari's faction. There will obviously be all the characters within the kingdoms, the king and the princess of the kingdom of Aresta, which is one of the main kingdoms, and all their soldiers, the different knights that serve them, and all the other just characters from that city, for example. But so there will be more characters than just Tabamari's faction. So for Warren, my inspiration for Warren was actually kind of a bit of Dan Heng from Star Rail, but also he's just meant to be he is the morally good member of the team, of Tabamari's faction. Because you've got to remember, Tabamari and her team, they are the bad guys. She's a villain protagonist. So, that's what I mean by very heavy overlord inspiration. So all of the characters that serve her are villains, technically. They're all technically bad guys. But Warren is he kind of stands out because he's he's one of the only few that isn't just blatantly evil. He is actually good. He's a good guy. He just serves Tabamari. So he needs to sound like a very wise, very gentle kind of young man kind of thing. So, like, I do not wish to harm these people, but I will do as my master compels. That kind of thing. You know, very gentle and wise sounding. Then we'll move on. Neffy. Okay. The Naga Witch. So Neffy, she needs to have a bit of ara energy to her. A bit of, you know, I don't want to say mommy energy. Even though she looks super cute, she doesn't talk super cute. She talks a bit more like this. And you want to draw out the S's, because snake, you know. So she's like, so, Lady Tabamari, when do we get to play with the humans? That kind of thing. You know, she's very, kind of intimidating to talk to, actually, I would say. But she obviously looks super cute. Mikhail, another one of the male characters. Mikhail basically is just a really smimey, ladies man, or at least he tries to be. He like loves himself. He's a massive narcissist. In my takes of him doing his voice, I've kind of given him a bit of a Southern American accent. He's like, howdy, doll. How about you and I go on a date night together, huh? What's a princess like you doing shackled up in this kitchen, huh? Something like that. Like, he's just kind of a smimey ass, is what you want to go with Mikhail. You can kind of do your own take on him, as long as he's a bit of a loving him own, you know, he needs to sound like a bit, very smimey, very narcissist, he loves himself, that kind of thing. That's the kind of feel I'm going with Mikhail. Then we've got Reina, who is like the main blade to Tabamari. She's like Tabamari's sword, if you will. Her main soldier. If anyone knows the voice of Elizabeth Maxwell, that's kind of the voice I wanted for Reina. Elizabeth Maxwell voices Winter Schnee in Ruby. She voices Sai Nijima in Persona 5. Makoto's older sister, the lawyer lady. That kind of thing. So she needs to sound kind of badass, because Elizabeth Maxwell is very good at sounding badass. Very good at voicing very deep voice, strong female characters. And that's kind of what you want with Reina. Okay? She needs to sound badass, like, kind of intimidating as well. Like, so her line I had for her was, you dare raise your blade to Lady Tabamari. A bug like you isn't even worth looking at, my master. Looks like I'll have to exterminate you. You know, kind of intimidating kind of voice. Then, oh, that's the wrong button. Okay, Setsuko. So Setsuko, I think I said this in my last stream, but Setsuko's inspiration was a combination of two characters. It was the sculptor, one of the hunters from a game called Identity 5, and Ceres, a character from a game called Paladins. Or, if you will, Salem from Ruby, the main villain from Ruby. So she needs to be very creepy sounding. Her whole thing is playing with people's minds, basically. She can manipulate and get into people's brains and read thoughts and stuff. So her whole thing is she needs to sound creepy, kind of like you're talking to a ghost. She needs to, and she has a very soft-spoken voice, but that's kind of creepy too. How about we delve into your darkest fears? That kind of thing, you know. Bone and flesh are easily once broken are easily fixed. Oh, but a broken mind, that is not so easily repaired. You know, that kind of thing. It is doomed to stay forever broken, is how the line should actually go. But yeah, so she needs to be very creepy sounding, okay? If you do Setsuko. Nikki. You probably heard my voice, if you've watched my first episode of the Tabamari shorts, the Tabamari skits, called From Fear to Friend. Yeah, Nikki is in that, and I try voicing Nikki in that. And so she just needs to sound very timid, very shy, very scared. She's obviously a human girl who hasn't really been around anything like a lot of the creatures, let's just say, in Tabamari's faction. She's not very experienced with demons or monsters, and there's a few of both in Tabamari's faction. She's especially scared of the spider girl Puck, because Puck constantly keeps like looking at her and starts like drooling and giving her like hungry looks as she looks at Nikki. So Nikki is mainly scared of Puck, but eventually in the story they do get quite close, Nikki and Puck. But either way, so when you voice her, she needs to sound really shy and kind of scared, and she stutters a lot, kind of like this, because she's tripping over her own words, because she's trembling so much. You know, she needs to sound pretty scared, is the thing with Nikki. But also she is quite shy and quiet as well. And then finally, the complete opposite of her, Puck, who boy, she big. So Puck is the complete opposite personality-wise to Nikki. She needs to sound very energetic, very loud, very extroverted. She's also, though, very playful and childish. She's basically a 10-year-old, so a very mischievous 10-year-old. If you want an inspiration for Puck, Hook, from, again, another Honkai Star Rail reference, but Hook from Star Rail. Mischievous child is basically the voice you want for her. And she always talks in third person, too. She kind of talks like this. My name Puck Puck. Puck Puck like to play and have lots of fun with her friend. You know, she talks like little girl. She doesn't really complete sentences with full wording, because she Puck Puck. Puck Puck have lots of friends. You know, that kind of thing. That's how Puck speaks. She's very energetic, like she's constantly hyper on caffeine, and bouncing off the walls constantly with her sentences. She's very, all over the place with the way she talks. So she'll probably be one of the funner characters to voice act, because of how manic she is compared to the others. You know, very different vibe to like if you're voicing Reina, or even Setsuko, or even Nikki. Because that's one of the main things I wanted, was for each of the members of Tabamari's faction to be very distinct with their not just with their looks, but with their personalities too. Like, they're very different from one another. The only two that might talk relatively similar are like Neffy and Setsuko, although Neffy is more, as I say, more upbeat and ara, whereas obviously Setsuko is more just creepy and very ghostly. But yeah, so this is basically just a general idea if you wanted to voice my characters. But of course, it's only voluntary, only if you want to. I'm not like trying to force anyone. I'm not like going, you must voice act for my stuff. I mean, I still need to actually write Tabamari, so. Because that's honestly, like, designing everything is the fun part. Getting around to actually writing it is the not as fun part. That part is the long slog part, but I will do it, because I need to. Obviously, I need to write the plot. But in the meantime, just enjoy my funny little, like, skits that hopefully one day I can actually learn how to animate something, properly animate, and get better artwork for them, so the skits will obviously evolve and get better. But yes, thank you for watching this video. Goodbye.